Hey adventurers, welcome to the crew. I'm Sealord Janda, and this is my Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. We are attempting to make our way to Defiance Bay. The first bridge we tried was broken, and we're now headed to the Woodend Plains en route around the bay to another bridge. I guess we must be able to double back west to that bridge. That other bridge, that is. Well, we're at the plains. Oh boy, another pile of memorials. Mushroom. What? Oh, found a forest lurker.
Brave thou
Looks large and angry.
Lord.
Where the hell are you three all going? Oh, I didn't bother to rest. That's right. We only used like 3 or 4 spells total back at the other map anyway, so it's probably overkill to even bother using any real spells on this too. We'll just hit it with some of these. This is all more dangerous. Although it does have slow passive healing, but yeah.
I'm here.
As long as Ader is tanking it, we're fine.
Certainly.
Okay, there's a little cliff here, so I can't go straight up. Guess I better look at this little graveyard. Yeah, more benefactors. Thargelios, benefactor, lord, jongler, catalyst. The fool, eternally in service to the order. Trutnov. Here lies an unfortunate lord, who irresponsibly stored, above his bed poorly fastened, his powerful magical sword. Rough. The glow of fire shows the way through the night, and the wind will lead us home. He loved to run and run, sometimes he didn't, but still he kept at it. Then he stopped, so here he is. Well, checks out. His dying breath, he remembered the numbers 0, 4, 5, and 1. What could it mean? He's death incarnate, endlessly feeding on the nightmares of tormented souls in the dark tunnels of eternity. In his wake, despair and destruction follow. His power ever grows. He will be reawakened. That's cheerful. Greetings from Swafnir's home, where I feet drink and sing, waiting for Hrangar's return. May my axe be as sharp in death as it was in life. Filled with light, consumed by shadows. Willie's not here. He was never here to begin with. A tall dwarf, fond of beards and axes. Their fans saved the day and joined their play. Knights in shimmering armor or fools in tights to look charmer. At least not in boob plate inappropriate, which would make Josh quite irate. We're no longer our souls, we're the faithful no more. Lots were not drawn and sent out, I will not splinter and break. Dwelling on earth or the sky, no masters, no gods. Happiness free for everyone, and let no one be forgotten. Dreams do come true. By the grace of his wife, he pledged and then pledged some more, to be binary code on a pillar or some such for eternity, hopefully not in torment. Fair enough. Blank. An avid gamer and dedicated backer, well, alright. In memory of Pavel Kazarewski, 1979-2015. Well, that's... It could be a joke still, to be honest, but... Here lies Firedorn, a bard, a poet. He was also a card, but most didn't know it. A poem he wrote in jest was misread. They asked for blood, so now he's just dead. It makes sense. Rough occupation sometimes being a bard. I mean... kind of ask for it, but let's, I guess we explore east. Oh, whoa. What the hell is a pugra? Never heard of such a thing, but it seems probably more dangerous than a troll, no? Well, only one way to find out. Peter, go punch it. Maybe I make a little quick save first.
Hey. Great.
Oh, there's like a lot of forest trolls here. Jesus. Alright. Ader, punch it real hard. Might have to break out some actual spells for this one.
Elon, you lead.
Alright, I will... Yeah, you know what? This looks pretty powerful. I'll just throw a fireball at them. They're all made of wood, possibly, so... Everyone shoot that thing. I'm more scared of that than I am of the troll things. We poison ourselves if we hit ourselves with that. Ader, why don't you just, Actually, could you blind pretty much the whole lot of them? Yeah, you get a lot of them. Why don't you go for that? Okay, that one is immune to being blinded. That increases my concern about them being pretty dangerous. I'm gonna go ahead and hit them with this fire thing.
Watch it with that.
Definitely healing their compatriots. Do you have a spell ready yet? Yes, you do. Go for it. Okay. Now go for this. Olaf, are you actually aiming for anything right now? I'm getting directly attacked by one of them. We did kill the really weird one. So that should be the situation under control. And I have 2 charges to speak to the reckless. Also, I'm getting attacked by this thing. Let me hit it with a book. Well, there we go. I'm also getting attacked by a wind blade. Ow. Why somebody... Ader? Well, I kinda need Ader to keep absorbing this damage, though.
Following your lead.
It's just family fire. Didn't kill the wind blade. Actually kinda dying over here. Yeah, even if I die, the rest of the party will be fine, but... Ader, maybe you could help out a little?
Yes.
Okay, I think I pulled off the second one before I died, so I should be fine. Okay. Definitely tougher than the random other encounters we've been having, but not that tough. I don't know what a Privka is, but it's dead. She's dead, possibly. I've just hit it west before, I think. I don't know what the optimal way to explore the... Oh, hell, just a random lion.
Great.
Okay. Don't know what... I guess They live on plains, but I didn't know they were native to this area. Goodness says I don't think lions are that effective against blatant attack.
I'm here.
I don't even look. I wonder how much a lion skin's worth. It's a wide map. Oh, hello, Jalen DeMath. Tucked under the flap of this bedroll is a relic of some kind. A small conch shell strung with seaweed. Free camping supplies? Nice. Strong soul. You see a group of robed figures sitting next to a fire. This woman, much younger and smaller, sits with them. They're discussing travel and making plans, deciding which road will get them to their destination fastest. A rustling noise catches the attention of several members of the group, and they stand, watching over the fire, straining against the darkness to see. And an enormous, shadowy figure makes its way into camp, and the darkness slowly parts against the firelight to reveal who it is. Many members of the group stand, readying weapons. Others quietly invoke their god, preparing spells for battle. The girl looks around, confused, when the man sitting next to her stands, holding out his arms. He chastises the others in the group for not showing the proper hospitality to a stranger. The man walks toward the ogre, hand extended, speaking words of welcome in his own tongue. The ogre stares at the man for a brief moment. Then, with a swiftness seemingly unnatural for a being of its size, it swings the club it had been dragging behind itself. It connects with the man's head, causing a wet, crushing sound. The woman to the girl's right screams and rushes to the man's side, covering half the distance before the man's even fallen to the ground. From the darkness all around the group, terrifying and blood-curdling shouts answer the screams of those in the camp, as more figures approach through the darkness. Okay, I'm thinking this is a lesson against negotiating with ogres. Doesn't seem like worked out for that guy. Alright, here's a road. Could be the road I'm supposed to follow, actually. It looked like maybe it went west, but I'm gonna follow it back to the crossroads first. Because this is definitely a game where exploring the whole map is called for. Nothing too interesting along this portion. Can I go up here? Looks like I can. Not much of interest up here, though. Oh, wait, a corpse. Light armor. Potion. 33 silver pfennigs. Worth looting, anyway. Can I go up there? Oh, I'm gonna miss that. Let's run over there real quick. Party will be here in a second. Alright, yeah, up we go. Definitely can go up here. And it's full of lions eating a corpse. There's 3 of them. Alright. We're gonna let them all group up, and then we're gonna hit them with the arcane assault. Oh, lion and lioness are actually distinct. Interesting. Oh, this one broke through. Okay. We're probably gonna need to use a spell on that one then, maybe? because we poor casters are very flimsy.
Following your
Okay. That one just won't stop.
I'm here.
Snap. We got this. Who do their reliance this, Deerwood?
At once.
And a corpse. I think that's it for what's up here. Lions and a corpse and whatever this stone is. Waves are roughly chiseled in the stone. They grasp at Andra's beloved moon like curling fingers. Pilgrim. Ooh, and he had a unique hatchet. This hunting hatchet has a leather-wrapped wooden handle and a silvered blade covered in finely etched flames. When the blade is coated in the blood of prey or an opponent, the etchings glow a fiery gold, roaring to life. Even at rest, the hatchet smells faintly of smoke and charred flesh. Okay, so it's a baseline hatchet, I think, but it's got 5 plus 25% burn damage. And 3 damage reduction bypass, and plus 5 deflection. Interfering, burning lash, and rending. Okay. And he had some poultry and some coin. Okay, so that's it for there. For up here. I guess we go back down and see what else we can find. Right,
Hush, Itumuk. We'll just wait a little longer.
That's an interesting wolf you got there. Sakani. Let's talk to this person. A dwarven woman, dressed in skins and hides, leans against the road marker. Her face is turned down, her eyes darkened by a thick stripe of face paint. She's sharpening a bone arrowhead with a scrimshaw-handled knife. Her attention, however, is focused on a bear figurine between her feet. A large, white-furred fox standing at her heels looks up at your approach. Okay, that's the biggest fox I've ever seen in my life. Although, I'm kind of mostly comparing it to a dwarf, so maybe it's not as big as I think it is.
Easy, Itumuk. It's not him.
This must be a companion. There's unique art and actual voice lines. You pretty much don't get those otherwise. Who are you waiting
Short
for?
version? I'm looking for a very, very old friend. I'm not sure what skin he's wearing now, but I'll know him when I see him.
Is he supposed to meet you here?
That's what I heard. Of course, the man who told me so was carrying a staff he claimed was made from dragon bone, but I know whitewood when I see it. That should have been my first clue, but I had to try something.
Try something?
The long version. Here we go. I'm from an island to the far south called Nasitok. I came here looking for a village elder, a man we knew as Persok. I'm a hunter back home, so tracking someone wouldn't normally be a problem. But Persok's trail is cold, to say the least.
How hard can it be? He died when I was still a young girl. Forgot to mention that part, did I? I'm looking for his latest reincarnation, which could be anyone. Yeah, that's a complication, to be sure. How long you been looking for him? Her painted brows lower, and her compact muscular frame sags for just an instant. 5 years. You've been looking 5 years for the reincarnation of a stranger you barely remember who could be anyone.
That about sums it up.
Why do you need to find him so bad? That's more of a campfire tale. I'm not quite ready to get into it. Well, I guess it must be important.
So I keep reminding myself. Still, it would be nice if important duties came with clearer instructions.
She looks at the Adra figurine in the dirt. How's that figure into it? She dusts the figurine on her trousers and raises it in her small, flat palm. It's carved in the shape of a bear, smooth and round. The polished adra is worn to a dull mat along its arched back and ovoid haunches. A soft glow emanates from
Cute,
within.
isn't it? It belonged to Persok. Before he returned to the wheel, he left a splinter of his soul in it. Something to help us find him later.
As she holds it out to you, you feel wisps of sensation. Not quite memories, but traces of someone.
When I left Nasitok, it was completely dark inside. But as I've gotten closer to Persok, it's glowed steadily brighter. Since I've reached the Deerwood, however, it's gotten hard to read. Some days it flickers and goes dark. Others it shines nice and bright, for a few hours. But most of the time it looks just like this.
That's kind of confusing. So what's the plan?
I can tell you what I won't do again. Rely on miracle peddlers. It was some so-called watcher who sent me to this crossroads in the middle of nowhere in the first place.
Fake watcher, huh? So if I tell you I'm a watcher and I can help, that's not going to be very
I
believable.
was
at
on
the
my
moment.
way out of the Balmarsh when I heard talk of a traveling mystic who could supposedly see souls. I knew it was a long shot, but what did I have to lose? I went to see this fellow and gave him the Audra figurine. He made a big show of moaning and rolling his eyes, and after I'd given him 5 golden dukes to lift the shroud, he told me to seek the crossroads in the field between the wolf's lair and the twining trees.
That's the vaguest psychic instruction. Okay, what's the Wolf's Lair? Defiance Bay. Locals call the current Duke Wolfgren. Sounds like he'd be fun to drink with. Yeah, maybe. Twining trees? He meant twin elms. Haven't been there yet, but I hear they have some especially memorable trees.
He thought he was
Right, go
being
on.
vague, but I know the area well enough to recognize that he meant this place, right between Defiance Bay and Twin Elms. I had a bad taste in my mouth, but my coin was spent and I'd already left an arrow in his knapsack as a friendly warning. Told him I'd come back and leave him with another if it turned out he was giving me the runaround. I've been here a week now. Guess he had the last laugh after all.
Well, you could still go after him. I was mostly trying to scare him. I wouldn't really kill a man over a few gold pieces. I don't have much use for coin anyway. Besides, knowing his type, he's cleared out of town by now and spent whatever he made. May I see it?
Why?
Well, this is gonna sound like complete bullshit under the circumstances, but as it so happens, I'm a real watcher.
You expect me to believe that? After the story I just told you?
Well, you got nothing to lose by letting me
Fine.
try.
But if you try to run, just remember that my arrows are faster.
She hands you the figurine, her chapped knuckles grazing your hand. She watches you examine it, weary but curious. You raise the Adra bear, turning it in the light, as your eyes catch a tiny, glinting scratch. The scenery around you melts away. You're standing on a cliff overlooking the water, seeing through eyes that aren't your own. You catch the musk of beasts amidst the fresh scent of vegetation, and your heart beats a little faster. You'll have to watch your step up here. You look down just long enough to see the sharp, pale cliffs drop into the water hundreds of feet below you. Oof, my perception is too low to be helpful. Okay. I see cliffs over the water. The question is greeted with shrugs and silence. Well, I think he's
What are you
standing on a
talking
cliff.
about? What just happened?
Well, I told you I'm a watcher. She blinks at you a few times, calculating. I know this sounds strange, but it's the truth.
You realize I've got no coin to give you, even if I did believe you.
Well, come with me. I've got other business in the area, and we can look for Persok on the way. And you kind of look like
If
that
this is your
rogue I've
idea
been
of a
trying to
joke,
get for the
you may
entire
be
game.
stuck with me for a while. Lead the way.
She's got a fox. It's very rare to have a dwarf. I think she's a ranger, actually. Very rare to have a dwarf ranger.
Ready, Watcher.
I like it. Alright, let me see. Which one of these buttons is the bloody. There we are. Yeah, 5th level ranger. Boreal dwarf. Nasitak hunter. Very good at perception. Pretty good might. Mediocre everything. Jesus. Has 9 survival. 0 mechanics. Okay. I feel like I'm just gonna pour points into mechanics because I think I'm gonna make her beat the rogue anyway, because nobody else is. It feels thematically correct to me, so. Faithful Companion, Fine Hide Armor, Hunter's Instincts against Wilder and Primals. Has an Arctic Fox Companion, Itumak, yeah. Itumak has a lot of dexterity and perception. Can Itumak be the rogue? Does Itumak know how to
Yes.
sense traps? Okay. It's inventory. She's got Fine Hide Armor, Masuk Unique Hunting Bow, which is accurate 2, so very accurate. Made for a dual role. In her home village, the hunters pursue game both to kill and to subdue, often using blunt arrows to stun small quarry. These captured animals are sometimes raised or traded to other villages. As a result, Sagani's Masuk bow can fire arrows that do pierce or crush damage, but it has slightly reduced range and damage. Okay, that sounds helpful, though, to be fair. I think pierce damage is kind of useless against, like, skeletons, and ghosts, and those kind of types, so crush damage might be good to have. Oh, what's the signpost say? Anyway, we have a full party finally. North to Cape Nua, west to Defiance Bay. Joke's on you. What if I go east? Why is it? I feel like it's dark a ridiculous percentage of the time when I'm exploring. Oh, look, a forest lurker. She just bonus damage against these, didn't we establish that? It would be nice to have more than 1.5 tanks and the 6 party members. No, I guess we got Ethan also. He's not really a tank, though. He's just... No, he's absorbing damage, but... To be honest, he just literally died. Hopefully he can't stay dead. I feel like he can't. I think she just says a summon for him. Well, we'll probably find out sooner or later. A lot of forest lurkers in these parts. Tough to kill, really. Well, I mean, for random single opponents that are all over the place, they're fairly tough to kill. But... Okay, so here's another road, which is going east, and that leads to Stormwall Gorge. Okay, looks like you can probably also go south as well as west. We're not going that way now, we're gonna head west, but just gotta finish exploring this place while we're at it. No stone unturned and all that. Okay, so this is back at the crossroads. And that just leaves, there's this big stretch south that we haven't explored, so... Cliff. And another Pukra. Still haven't figured out what they are, but there's only one here. No allies, so probably speed on it. You do a lot, this does a lot of damage to... This isn't a spirit though, it's just a primordial. Do you have helpful abilities? Twice per encounter. Okay, it has, she has Hunter's Mark, effectively, so I should technically use it at the start of every encounter, but I'm definitely too lazy to do that. Okay, this thing has magic attacks, so I should probably kill it a little more easy.
Helpful?
I'm here.
Did it. Those things are definitely more dangerous than the forest lurkers.
I shall.
Springberry.
I'm here.
Springberry. Okay, here's the south edge of the map, and this goes to Searing Falls. Probably a transit area, given it's indistinguishable from all the other transit areas. In terms of map label, but who knows. Another uplifted little area here. Weird terrain for a plane. Oddly frequent little rock uplifts. Piles of suspicious free loot. Interesting. Crossbow, 123 copper. Wine dregs swirl around the bottom of the clay jar. Scroll of protection, 380 copper skeets. Man, very unguarded for something with 500 copper in it. Another forest weapon. That's no good, really. Don't think Ader can knock it over, unfortunately, but no. That's not but
I'm here.
fundamentally not a huge problem for the party at this point.
Absolutely.
Breath spell. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all the plants. I haven't really encountered anything to do with them other than sell them, but selling them's always good too. I think I've mentioned that I don't usually mess with alchemy systems in games, which I don't, but I haven't even encountered one yet in this game, so I really don't know what I'm supposed to do with the plants. Little fence. Take it, this is the corner. Yep. Oh, house. That. Not a very nice house. A little bit on the rundown side, maybe. Let's go see what's inside. I don't think we can get inside, actually. Gee, so far. The sparrow's nest is tucked between two angled slats. Alright, yeah, nothing of real note there. Unfortunately. Okay, I think that's pretty much this whole map. So let's go ahead and exit to the west. And that will take us to the Edelwan Bridge, yes. And our merchant stalls are finished. So that'll give us a merchant back home. I still have money and I still have piles of things to sell in my inventory, so I'm gonna just commission the barracks immediately. No, this is not a... This map is literally just the bridge. Like, oh, no. There's a plant here. Atmosphere. But yeah, otherwise, I guess it just literally serves as the entrance to Defiance Bay, probably. commoners. Commoners all about. I assume they're highly generic, yeah. These will just be a couple of people with strong souls. Craddock, Bridgeman. You see a ship being tossed about in a storm-ravaged sea. The swells rise and fall, carrying the ship with them as if it were a toy. This man stands on deck at the helm of the ship while water whips around him. The crew moves about frantically, trying to keep the chaos under control. He barks orders at them, pointing where to go and giving each one a task. The men, while still visibly distressed, seem to calm down when they're given their orders. He instructs the helmsman to resume his duties at the wheel, and rushes to the aid of a crewman who's struggling with a rope attached to one of the sails. The ship crests a wave, going almost vertical in one direction and then immediately again in the other direction. Several of the crew are thrown from their feet, sliding across the deck as the ship is rocked. After the swell passes and the ship returns to a relatively normal orientation, the man quickly scans the deck, counting silently. No one's been lost this time, thankfully. He looks in the direction they're headed, seeing no reprieve from the storm in sight. His jaw squared and his upper lip stiffened, he returns to the helm and takes the wheel again. Bridgman is a sailing captain, or was in some life. Astrand Miriam Ellis. You see a lavishly decorated room, walls hung with tapestries, ornate oil lamps creating a warm, relaxing atmosphere. There are several overstuffed couches covered with silk pillows, and an elegant table in the middle of the floor. This woman is seated at the table, sitting across from another woman. They're both well-dressed, their style befitting the room they're in. The other woman's hair is blonde, in stark contrast to this woman's black, and is swept up on her head in a dramatic style. The women speak in an easy, free tone, obviously familiar with one another. Though they each seem to be comfortable in the other's company, a strange nervousness surrounds the blonde woman's actions. She occasionally betrays herself with a little giggle or stammer, hitching over an easy word as she speaks. Her demeanor swings from friendly to shy and back again with no warning. This woman leans back a little in her chair, stretching lightly. As she finishes her stretch, she gently lays her hand next to the other woman's hand, letting their fingers subtly intertwine. The second woman stops speaking mid-sentence, inhales sharply, and turns red. She does not, however, move her hand. This woman smiles and moves her hand further over the other, holding it. She then stands, moving around the table toward the blonde woman, whose face shows conflicting emotions of terror and lust. She giggles, pulls her hand out from under the other, and brings it to her mouth, the red of her face deepening. This woman stops, looking down at her, eyes sparkling. She reaches out and pulls something from the blonde's hair, letting it fall around her shoulders. Then she leans over, brushing her lips lightly over the blonde woman's cheek, resting her mouth against her ear. As she whispers, her hand moves lithely down the other woman's body to her waist. The blonde shudders and leans into the hand, eyes closing, cheek pressing against the lips, still whispering at her ear. This woman's hand deftly removes a small bag from the other woman's belt and secrets it under her own cloak at the small of her back. Then she gently kisses the other woman's cheek and stands again, the smile never leaving her mouth. Oh, well, she's a thief then. Fair enough. Well, not really fair enough, but Zoran Zenius Kevik. You see a flurry of matted white hair and an incandescent freeze-fire staff before you see the man, cold and wild. He chews a wizened apple slowly, discharging spell after spell into the jumble of villagers screeching their way towards him. Cold flame vents from his nose and apple seeds shoot out the side of his mouth as he saunters forward, ignoring arrows and curses alike. A deliberate twist of his staff and a bullet of force glides through the torso of one assailant and another. A roar blisters his throat as he launches himself into their midst, tearing into their essence with his staff. A pleading hand reaches towards him and quickly falls, ignored. Silence takes hold as the tattered man gathers his prize, a basket of fresh pears. He hums as he eats. Okay, this one feels like a bit of a joke, but it's kind of hilarious, actually. Who doesn't love killing a whole pack of villagers for a basket of pears? Ah. Welcome to Defiance Bay indeed. Thank you, Justiciar. Forkin? What can you tell me about Defiance Bay? Sorry, but I don't have time right now. But it sounds like that dozen's crackpot Rowan's stirring up trouble again. He jerks his head at the gate. He'd be all too happy to give you a rundown of the city. Liberally flavored with dozens propaganda, of course. Why would you tell me you hate this guy, but then also direct me to him to act as a tour guide? Whatever. What's the problem? Thousands of them, truth be told. We've actually got refugees coming in from all parts, under some misguided notion that things are actually better here. That the legacy somehow passed us over. So they show up with no prospects and little money and just end up making a worse mess of things. He looks you up and down. No offense. Hey, I've got like 5,000 copper and like 30 people's worth of plate armor in my inventory still. Don't worry about it. Looking for the Temple of Wodoka. He scratches his beard. Not sure why'd you want to go there. He shrugs. It's in First Fires if you really want to see it. Alright, bye. Right, so Defiance Bay is large enough that apparently it's 5 districts rather than just one map. So clearly it's the central city of the game. This Twin Elms looks pretty big also, but I assume there's more maps, up here, down here still, but 15 minutes. Yeah. Clearly Defiance Bay is it's clearly the central city. Unless there's some other sections I haven't discovered at all. But this pretty much has to be the main area.
Defiance Bay. The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by Whiteone's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to ennomancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
That's rough. I did just get an achievement for finishing Act 1, so I guess we are done with Act 1. Okay, yeah. This is a nice little, there's catacombs. Oh, this is going to be a lot to explore. Okay, so we just finished Act 1 and entered Defiance Bay. And, I think I'm going to call it there for today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you all have a nice day. This is Sea Lord Jenda, signing off.